boys 1500. So the top three in the junior girls, in the under 17 girls, sorry, St. George Secondary's Maya Rowe. St. George Secondary, Maya Rowe, 5 minutes 51.82 seconds. And second position, Christian Sherlin, Commonwealth School, 5 minutes 30.11 seconds. And the champion in the under 17 girls 1500 meters, Daisha Brathwaite, Christchurch Foundation, new record holder, 5 minutes 15.78 seconds. And in the junior boys, top three, Ethan Taylor, Commonwealth School, 5 minutes 08.82 seconds. Second, Zachary Taylor, also from Commonwealth School, 5 minutes 04.49 seconds. And the champion there, I think another record as well, Khalid Padmore from the Alien School, 5 minutes 02.28 seconds. So those are the top three.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Perry. And just to look back at how athletes will, how athletes will advance from this zone on to the finals. Of course, we have the Esther Maynard zone today and tomorrow. Then we have the Frank Blackman zone on Thursday and Friday. So in the case of the 1500 meters and the 800 meters, we'll have the top two from each zone. So in the case of the under 20 boys, we have two Arizonians who will automatically advance to the final. They've booked their ticket for the finals. And then the next 8 best times from both zones. And that's how the athletes will be advancing in the 800 and 1500 meters. Do we have any more results, Perry?
We're not yet. We're waiting. We're waiting the results of the just concluded on the 20.
On the 20 girls and boys.
Yes. We have the start list for the 100 meters for under 13 girls and boys.
Okay, and we're still a few minutes away from that. But I guess we can tell our viewers exactly how the athletes will advance. Ian, how will they advance in the 100 meters?
Well, in terms of the 100s, 200s, and 4s, the top ranked 4 from each zone plus the next best 16 based on time will go forward to the semifinals. And of course, after that, we will then look at the top 2 per heat and the next best 2 based on the times to advance to the finals.
And what we will see when we get to the next round, which will be, of course, at the finals, there will be 3 semifinals as opposed to 2. And you know, in the old days, where there were, in the true sense of the word semifinal, there were 2, and the top 4 from each advanced to the final. But we've seen some changes in the track and field world, where now there are 3 semifinals that we will see here at BSSAC. The top 2, and then the next 2 fastest will be advancing. And Perry and Ian, you know, this speaks a lot to strategy. And I know those who would have been at knapsack yesterday, we saw some of the favorites having a little problem in terms of the strategy, especially for the longer distances, the 800 meters. Ian, did you ever run an 800?
No, it was never my event.
You were a sprinter.
I was a sprinter, 1 and 2. The most I would have done would have been a 400 or 4x4.
Okay.
But definitely not an 800 meter. It really was not my thing.
But there's a specific strategy, Perry. You are a trained IAAF coach, so you know for sure that certain events, there's strategy that is needed. Could you talk us through probably the kind of strategy that would be employed in the 1500 meters, which we would have just seen?
Okay, well, again, you have to take into consideration the type of athlete. There are some athletes who develop incrementally lap by lap. There are some athletes who like to lead from the front. If you have an athlete who leads from the front, let's look at Layla Haynes, for instance. She's not one who goes out hard at the beginning, but she's one who can she just likes to sit there in about 4th position for the first 300 meters, and then she starts to gradually get to the front. She controls the pace. For the distance race like that, all athletes basically, you try to get them to understand that they have to conserve, they have to control the race. Right, wherever is your comfortable position, you control the race for that position. It may sound strange, but I've seen athletes control the 1500 from the middle of the pack.
Yes.
Okay, and then at the last lap or 300 meters or whatever, they start to make the move. Depends on where they're comfortable. But you have to teach them to control the race. And it is, as many athletes are there out, there's an individual race, and you have to run your race all the time. You really can't go and try to run anyone else's race. If you lose sight of your strategy, as we saw yesterday at Knapsack, Michael, some of the top athletes in the 800, they lost their strategy, and it didn't pay well for them. They actually didn't go through as favorites into the semifinals. So you have to let the athlete learn that they have to control their race. Whether you're a front runner, middle of the pack runner, whether you like to sit at the back and surge forward, you control the race. And by controlling the race, if you're at the back, you don't let them get away from you. So you have to know when to get forward. You have to know, well, maybe I have to move a little faster, a little earlier, a little sooner. If I'm at the front, I can slow the pace down and keep the pace at a rhythm that when I really have to kick, I can move and leave the rest. Or I can go out early and stretch out the field and then let them run at me and do what you call surging. It's just let them run at me and then go out a little bit more and ease off the pace again and let them keep surging. So let's keep surging away from them. So main point really is to teach the athlete to control the race.
And of course, that very vital thing, to finish strong.
Oh, and of course. And as my good coach, Mr. Leo Garza said to me once is a race, it's speed.
Yes.
So you can't, as a 1500 is a race, you have to have some kind of speed in it. And
no matter the distance.
That's where that kick comes in. You have to finish strong. You have to finish fast.
So, Ian, we're going to pay a couple of bills here.
We certainly are. We're going to take a break. Of course, this coverage is brought to you with the kind compliments of Pharmacy Sales Caribbean Inc., Ozone Wireless, Scotiabank, Sagicor, Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Bryden Stokes, and Flawless Gym. We're going to take a break here and come right back after a word from our sponsors.
You skip breakfast? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
Hi, the biggest questions we'll get from our potential customers is, how do I get on your network?
Well, it's easy.
You just need 2 things, an Ozone SIM card
And an LTE Band 13 compatible device.
You're probably wondering, what is that and do I have one?
Well, you just need to visit our website for a list of compatible devices.
Or you can visit us in store. We'll have a wide range of LTE Band 13 compatible devices.
And just remember,
We're beyond the network.
Yes is a beautiful word. It empowers us. It brings satisfaction. And since you earn up to 3% cash back on everyday purchases with the Scotiabank Gold MasterCard, that's a lot of satisfaction, a lot more often. Plus, you get a welcome bonus from the get-go. Scotiabank Gold MasterCard is the card that keeps on giving, so it's easier for you to create many more precious yes moments. Apply for yours today. Call or visit a Scotiabank branch to find out more.
And welcome back to our live coverage of the Barbados Secondary Schools Zone Championship, the Saul Esther Maynard Zone. And on the line, guys, we're getting ready for the 100 meters, the under 13 girls. Remember, these are all timed finals.
So we have 2 sections in this one, based on what I'm seeing here. We have What do we have? It's a little confusing here, but we'll go with what we have on the screen for now. In lane 2 looks like Shamir Samuel of Parkinson Memorial. Lane 3, Kayla Holloway, the Ellerslie School. In lane 4, Kiara Barker, St. George Secondary School. In lane 5, we have Sarah Ann Aline, Springer Memorial. In lane 6, Kelia Bentham of the Commermere School. And in lane 7 is Tamika Husbands of the Aline School. This is section 1 of 3 timed finals.
Yes, and just so our viewers can understand again, although it says time final, meaning that we have to await the result of all the races then to determine. So an athlete may win his or her section. That doesn't mean that he or she is the overall winner. And actually, that person may end up being 9th or 10th down the line, although he or she's won. So that first race is off. Samuel, Holloway, Barker, Aline, Bentham, and Husbands. So we're seeing them coming down the straightaway, looking for a good time. That's what's going to be important here, the time. So Combermere looks like they'll be the first winner. Kelia Bentham of Combermere, the winner, and Tamika Husbands of the Aline School finishing there in second position.
Sarah Ann Aline from the Spring Memorial School getting in that third spot. It's all about the time. Yes,
and again, I was just about to mention that, Ian, it's about the times.
Yes, and we got to remind you, while we're there, remind them the record, the estimator zonal record, 13.43 seconds, and the BSAC record, that estimator record was set by Brianna Boyce of the Aline School.
Remember her from last year.
And the BSAC record, 12.70 seconds set in 2014 by Jalea Denny of Christchurch Foundation.
Moving on to the second section of 3 timed finals. This looks like Acacia Court in lane 1, in lane 2 rather, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 3, Janisa Wilson of Harrison College. Lane 4 is occupied by Davius Stewart of the Aline School. Lane 5, Jamara Cumberbatch of the Ellerslie School. In lane 6 is Danica Applewhite of ICGS. Is that the Garrison?
That's Graydon Seeley.
Graydon Seeley. Graydon Seeley, please bear with me.
The name change.
All of the name changes. Lane 7, Tatiana Seeley, Combermere School.
So these athletes are off and running the second section on the 13 girls. Looking like in the middle of the field there. It's going to be a close one. No, Aline School wins that one. That's Davia Stewart of the Aline School. And Cumberbatch of the Ellerslie Secondary School. On the outside of her, and Janisa Wilson of Harrison College. Acacia Court of Christchurch Foundation seems to have got in there for that second spot.
Yep.
So again, it's all about the times, and the times will determine the overall winners.
Progressing very quickly here this morning. We started a little bit late.
Well, if they continue like this, Ian, we will get back on track.
Third section already on the line.
Yes, and we know that this 100 meters for the under 13 girls was set to go at 10:35. It's now 10:56. So if we keep rolling, the under 13 boys, we might catch back up.
Yes, we should.
So our starting lineup, Perry, for the third section.
Okay, we have in lane number 2, Treticia Beckles of Parkinson Memorial. In lane 3, from Christchurch Foundation, Shantae Morris. Lane number 4, Devika Burrows of Graydon Seeley. And lane 5, Sierra Markle of Harrison College. And lane number 6, Keandra John of St. George Secondary. And in lane 7, Kaelia Goodridge of Springer Memorial.
So they're off to a very fast start. Beckles, Morris, Burrows, Markle, John, and Goodridge. Halfway down the track, I am seeing Christchurch Foundation School. Shantae Morris. Beautiful run there from Morris, well ahead of the field. And that second spot will go to Keandra John of St. George Secondary. So Morris, out of this lot, has been the most impressive. Shantae Morris of Christchurch Foundation School.
Yes, I remember Shantae Morris 2 years ago, Michael, representing Barbados at the CUT Games in Tortola. And that was her first time ever competing. And she by the time she got on the plane from Tortola, she was talking to her dad about joining the club, and she was really interested and enthused about track and field. And I'm glad to see that she's continued and she's doing so well.
Certainly an outstanding performance from her as we get ready now for the first section of the under-13 boys. Of course, there are two sections in this under-13 boys 100. In lane 1, we have, it looks like, Christian Griffith representing the Allen School. In lane 2, Jaleel Grosvenor, St. George Secondary. In lane 3, Trey Callender, the Ellerslie School. In lane 4, Thierry Gibson, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Simorio Franklin of Graydon Sealy. In lane 6, Renaco Brown of the Allen School. In lane 7, that looks like Jaheen Herbert of the Parkinson Memorial. And in lane 8, Terrell Sargent, St. George Secondary.
Yes, so these guys are ready on the 13 boys. Perry, do we have a record for this event?
Yes, the zonal record is set by Jamarco Gill, St. George Secondary in 2016, 12.64 seconds. And the BSAC record, and we can listen to this one, the BSAC record set by a very young and energetic Andrew Hines of Corjan Parry, set way back in 1996.
What's the record?
11.71 seconds. Michael.
Wow. Could you imagine that, Ian? Did you ever run so fast? 11.71 at 12 years old?
Certainly not at 12 years old. Maybe
My
a little
goodness.
later on.
So this guy was fantastic. Actually, of course, he went on to represent Barbados at the Olympic Games, the World Championships. Outstanding runner. I don't believe though that he really reached his fullest potential as a sprinter.
Neither do I. He was quite outstanding.
Having run so fast as a
junior athlete.
Yes, you would imagine that the progress would have been even better. And of course, all eyes will be on Layla Haynes to see how she will progress, having run so fast. Actually, she ran 4:55 already in the 1500 meters. And that's extremely impressive.
I think that would have been on the 20 girls qualifier for qualifying time for Carifta.
It surely was. It surely was. So, and actually, she is the best 1500 female runner in Barbados right now.
Layla Haynes.
Layla Haynes
at about 12
years old. Yes.
Tremendous potential indeed for the future.
More than that. So the under 13 boys 100 meters, first of two sections, just two going here for the boys. And we're just awaiting the start. They're down there. The starters, of course, making sure that the athletes, we have the correct athletes and that they're in the correct lanes. And Perry, you know how the meet manager and the electronic timing system works. So if Perry Barnett is scheduled to run in lane 4 and Ian Webster shows up to run in lane 4 and he actually does run, when we cross that finish line, who's going to get that time?
Perry Barnett.
So,
are you sure? Come on now.
So we have
that's
to
only
be
because
sure.
I'm injured. Let's go.
We have to be sure that the correct athletes are in the correct lane so that they get the correct times and the times don't go to the wrong person.
We started this one a little bit delayed though.
Yes. And if we can go through those lanes again so everyone is clear on who's running in what lane.
Lane 1, Christian Griffith, the Allen School. In lane 2, Jaleel Grosvenor, St. George Secondary. In lane 3, Trey Callender, the Ellerslie School. In lane 4, Thierry Gibson, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Simorio Franklin of Graydon Sealy. In lane 6 is Renaco Brown, the Allen School. In lane 7, Jaheen Herbert, Parkinson Memorial. And in lane 8, Terrell Sargent, St. George Secondary School.
Yes, and we're still seeing here some delay, and it's looking like down there in lanes, that's lane 3, 4. And something you will find, guys, the athletes may be involved in two events simultaneously. For example, in this case, it could be 100 meters and a long jump.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
the athlete probably forgot that he has to run over there by the start of the 100, or the officials forgot something. So
I've never been involved in planning a meet, but I will put it to you. Is there a way around that other than having the two events clash? Is there?
well, that will be up to the discretion of the coach, I think, if you're going to have two events which clash, to ensure that that athlete, most of the time, does not compete in two clashing events, but sometimes you can't help it, and it does happen. But the important thing is at the check-in area to let the officials there know you will be competing in the high jump while the 100 meters is going, so that the officials can, someone normally takes you over, you go and do your event, and then you're marshaled back over to the high jump area.
And so, Michael, while we wait for that to start, we have 2 more records that have been broken.
Oh my goodness, that's lovely.
Under 20 boys, as expected, 1500 meter record, which stood at 4 minutes 18.03 seconds, has now been eclipsed. It stands now at 4 minutes 10.98 seconds. That's Jonathan Jones.
Well, Perry, I did comment that he would not have run that fast, but surely faster than that 4:18, and 4:10 for him is slow.
And interestingly enough, the former record holder, Rio Williams, he also went on to the record. He ran a 4:16.35.
Very good.
And then we have in the under 17 boys, the record has been broken. That record now, Nathan Goddard McCarthy lost one record, setting another record in the under 17 boys. He lost the junior boys record.
What was the time there for him?
His time now is 4 minutes 27.82. The old record stood at 4 minutes 30.01.
So that's great. So if we can count then these 1500 meter records, Ian, we had the under 15 girls, the junior girls, the junior boys, the under 17 girls, the under 17 boys, the under 20 boys. Do we have the under 20 girls?
No, the under 20 girls, no record was broken there. But Sharissa Moore's 5 minutes 13.11 seconds. Way off the pace actually, but that is to be expected. Sharissa herself has been having injuries,
some challenges, yes,
as well. So,
but if I recall correctly, 5 minutes 13. That's around the time that Layla Haynes would have ran out.
Yes, Layla Haynes ran 5 minutes 13. So again, the point I was making about Layla Haynes, the class she has, the best.
Yeah.
So she ran 5:13 as a junior.
Yeah.
And Sharissa Moore 5:13 as an under 20.
Yeah.
But she has beaten Sharissa at one of the AAB meets.
Yes,
as well.
yes, she did.
Yes. So
Layla Haynes.
Yes, class act. So I don't know what's happening here on the track, guys. We're seeing the athletes have now been taken off the track, and the officials making their way up to the tent at the finish line. So I believe there must be some recalculating of the lanes. Maybe athletes didn't show up and they came, or they showed up late. But we will not speculate. But I think what we will do here is to take a break, and of course we have to thank all of our sponsors who came on board for this Sports.bb event.
Flawless Gym, of course, Brighton Stokes coming on board, Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Sagicor, Scotiabank, Ozone Wireless, and certainly our friends at Pharmacy Sales Caribbean Inc. We thank them very much for their support, and we take a break, and we'll be right back here at the National Stadium.
You skip breakfast? With a bottle of Ensure, you get 9 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and the calcium that your body needs. For the hectic moments of your life, drink Ensure.
Hi, the biggest questions we'll get from our potential customers is, how do I get on your network?
Well, it's easy.
You just need 2 things, an Ozone SIM card
And an LTE Band 13 compatible device.
You're probably wondering, what is that and do I have one?
Well, you just need to visit our website for a list of compatible devices.
Or you can visit us in store. We'll have a wide range of LTE Band 13 compatible devices.
And just remember,
We're beyond the network.
Yes is a beautiful word. It empowers us. It brings satisfaction. And since you earn up to 3% cash back on everyday purchases with the Scotiabank Gold MasterCard, that's a lot of satisfaction, a lot more often. Plus, you get a welcome bonus from the get-go. Scotiabank Gold MasterCard is the card that keeps on giving, so it's easier for you to create many more precious yes moments. Apply for yours today. Call or visit a Scotiabank branch to find out more. Conditions apply.
So we're right on time for our first section of the under 13 boys. 100 meters.
Young men,
I think we have that issue sorted out. And just as we said, I believe it was a matter of making sure that all the athletes are there, that they're correct, they're in the correct lanes, etc. So Tevin Brathwaite of Harrison College will now go in lane 1, Trey Callender of the Ellerslie in 2, Jaheim Herbert of Parkinson in 3, Thierry Gibson of Christchurch Foundation in 4, Grosvenor of St. George Secondary, Brathwaite of Commonmere, Padmore of Graydon Seeley.
False start, Michael.
And then Christian Griffith of the Allen School in lane number 8.
Well, while you were giving the lane assignments, the young men had gotten underway, but then the gun was fired twice. That means a false start, so they're going to have to start over.
And luckily for them, no one will be disqualified in this age category. I think those disqualifications, that one false start rule comes into play, Perry, with the under 17s and under 20s. So as you can see, the starter's assistant there showing, what color card is that?
It's a green card.
Green card.
Great, meaning that no one will be DQ'd. Just a warning to the field, really.
Next one, who does it?
Someone will go.
I like the youngster from Christchurch Foundation. I saw him at their sports. Thierry Gibson. He looked pretty. He looked pretty good at running. Then again, that was Interhost Sports. And
certainly is.
We have to see how we match it up with the best of the best from
the zone.
The zone within the zone now.
It's all about times here in this under 13 boys 100 meters, and there they go. Let's see. Looks like in the middle of the field there, the athlete in lane 5. Perry.
Yes, he's going quite well there from St. George Secondary.
St. George Secondary is going to cross the line now, winning from Tevin Brathwaite of Harrison College.
Yes, good eyes, Ian.
Couldn't make out who it was for the third spot, so I'm not going to take your compliment on the eyes. But we know for sure in positions 1 and 2.
Those top 2 for sure.
Definitely Jaleel Grosvenor, St. George Secondary, and Tevin Brathwaite of the Harrison College.
Yeah, so that's one down, and the second section coming up here.
We just try to organize it here. We're going to pull it up for you very shortly. There we go. Second section of the under 13 boys 100 meter dash. Perry, the lane assignments.
So in lane 1, we have Rashawn Batson, Harrison College. In lane 2, Jaheim Harding, the Ellerslie School. Lane 3, Renako Brown, Allen School. In lane number 4, Terrell Sargent, St. George Secondary. In lane 5, Shamar Blanchard, Parkinson Memorial. In lane 6, Christian House, Christchurch Foundation. Lane number 7, Tion Haynes, Commonwealth School. And in lane number 8, Simorio Franklin of Graydon Seeley.
They're on the starters' orders for the second section of the under 13 boys. Of course, the zone record, 12.64. And there they go. And in the middle of the track, Perry. No, it's the outside.
Looks like
Commonwealth
School.
I don't think you guys are seeing there. Number 1.
That's lane 1. Rashawn Batson
Harrison College.
Of Harrison College, and lane 7, Tion Haynes. The first 2.
I give third place maybe to Christian Owls of Christchurch Foundation.
Yeah, sneaking in there. So that's the under 13 boys completed. And coming up will be the under 15 girls. They have 3-time finals. And it's good to see that we have this many girls competing in the under 15 age category. And you would recall last year, and it's really strange that after, well, actually it's funny to me that after a discussion about the under 18 age category, that even at the Carifta Games level, the decision was made to revert to the under 17 level. So right now, at the Carifta level, there will be no more under 18, and they go back to under 17 and under 20, which should have never happened in my opinion, because of the and I think they realize that the females in the sport they need to stay in the sport, and therefore having that will kind of encourage them, you know. So we have some field events in progress while the hundreds are getting ready. Some young ladies being introduced for the shot put, and that looks to me like an under 17 girls shot put event.
I think, no, that was under 20.
That's under
I believe.
20?
Yes, because I have the results here for the under 17 girls shot put, which we'll give at the end of the 100 meters for the under 15.
So we can go with the lane assignments then, Ian, for the first of 3 in the under 15 girls.
In lane 2, Abian Burrows, Parkinson Memorial. In lane 3, that looks like Ketalia, archer of the Ellerslie School. In lane 4, Kiara Hunt, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Tonic Fleming of Combermere School. And in lane 6, Amani Kimon, interesting name, from Harrison College, rounding out the field in the under 13 girls, under 15 girls rather. This is the first of 3 sections. Girls are under starters orders. And
So
there they
they're
go.
off. And Tonic Fleming of Combermere School had a really fast start. I must tell you that. She exploded out the blocks. However, from Harrison College, Amani Kernan is the winner there. Hunt of Christchurch Foundation, Kiara Hunt finishing in second, and Tonic Fleming not being able to maintain that great start which she had, so she finishes in third position. So Amani Kernan of Harrison College taking that first of 3 sections.
Kernan,
yes.
But how it looks here, it looks almost like an M. But thank you very much, Michael Jules, for the correction.
Seems like in my old age, my eyes are better than yours, Ian.
Oh, well, I wear glasses, you don't. As we move on to the second section.
They're not ready yet, so they give you the results for the under 17 girls shot put. There were 11 competitors. We're going to give you the top 8. This is where the points are. So 8th position, Tia Haynes, Parkinson Memorial, 8.38 meters. 7th, Deidre Dean Mason, Parkinson Memorial, 8.51 meters. 6th position, Mariah Hill, Harrison College, 8.64 meters. 5th position, Mikael Gooden, Harrison College, 8.94 meters. 4th position, from the Allen School, Deshonta Addison, 9.28 meters. And the top 3, 3rd position, Tashara Holip, Springer Memorial, 9.96 meters. 2nd, Julissa Jones Smith, Springer Memorial, 10.74 meters. And the champion of the under 17 girls shot put in the estimator zone for 2018, Jessica Myrie from Christchurch Foundation, 10.94 meters.
Well, we saw earlier Christchurch Foundation asserting themselves on the track. We're seeing them now asserting themselves in terms of the field events. But coming away from that, on the 17 girls shot put, the Spring Memorial Lassies would have taken away 14 points because they would have taken 2nd and 3rd. But Foundation, of course, they would have gotten 10. And their other athlete who was in there didn't finish among the top 8, so they would not have been able to acquire any points as a result, Perry. So it's always an interesting thing to pay attention to these points. We haven't gotten anything official as yet, but we await those official results because it's going to be interesting and very keen competition among both girls and boys for the championship in 2018.
Right.
Well,
So
I can tell you, we will be able to get into the system and we'll be able to bring our viewers up to date on the points, but we'll do that when we have a little break. Right now, we have the competitors for 2nd of 3 sections in the under 15 girls. In lane 1, we'll see Rashana St. Catherine Douglas of the Ellerslie School. Lane 2, J.L. Griffith of the Allen School. Naya Hope of Harrison College will be in lane 3. Jada Hines of Combermere School in lane 4. In lane 5,
You would have the way you would have called it, Michael. I saw Kennedy Jackman getting in there for 3rd. So we'll see how that goes. Looks to be a pretty quick heat.
And remember these young ladies in the under 15 division, they're chasing the zonal record of 12.63 seconds set in 2016 by Jalea Denny of Christchurch Foundation, and the BSAC record 12.13 seconds, set way back in 2011 by Tristan Evelyn, then of the Springer Memorial School.
Yes, and of course, we can't help but mention the fact that athletes such as Tristan Evelyn would have gone on to gain a track and field scholarship, and she's currently at the University of Houston in Texas, along with Mario Burke. So these household names in Barbadian track and field from as far back as the knapsack level through to BSAC, and now doing great things. And actually, speaking of Mario Burke, he was second at his conference meet, the indoor championships, representing University of Houston. So again, doing great things.
Third section on the line. In lane 3, Melissa Gaskin, Ursuline Convent. In lane 4, Janae Goodman, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Destiny Chandler, of Parkinson Memorial. In lane 6, Danica Rochford, St. George Secondary School. And in lane 7, Naomi Ford Hines, Springer Memorial. And there they go for the under 15 girls, the third section. And it looks to me like Ford Hines in lane 7. She's going to get a challenge, though, from Janae Goodman. I make it Goodman ahead of Ford Hines.
You made it correct.
Oh, my goodness.
You made it correct, Ian. Janae Goodman of Christchurch Foundation edging out Naomi Ford Hines of Springer Memorial. Good eyes, Ian.
Good glasses.
I think Naomi had to run back at her, actually, because she had a good start. Naomi Ford, and then Ford Hines really had the middle of that race nailed down, and she really started to pull away, and then afterwards she made Naomi Ford Hines have to get up and run at her. So good run from both of those athletes, and kudos to Janae Goodman for coming out tops. But remember, there are time finals.
So you must, again, Perry, I must reiterate, no matter what the race is, you should finish strong. You should always run through the line. And I know last year we talked about this, but so far we're seeing that the athletes are all running through the line.
I think they've got it now, really.
Well, by now they should.
Really
so especially for these time finals.
Remember we mentioned last year that this zonal setup is something new to the secondary school.
Yes.
And we realized that only the under 13s who came over from knapsack, they were the ones who were running through the line because they understood the zone concept. And now we're glad to see that a lot of them are now adopting and understanding the zone concept and the strategy to get through to the next round.
Yes, I believe this zonal concept is here to stay. And so as the younger athletes come into the system, as you said, coming from the zone meets at knapsack, it will not be an issue.
Under 15 boys on the line already in lane 2, Dylan Duckett of the Ursuline Convent. In lane 3, Aiden Auguste at the Allen School. Lane 4, Joshua Ruitt, the Ellerslie School. In lane 5, Trey Waldron, St. George Secondary. In lane 6, Delano Thomas, Combermere School. And rounding out the field, that looks like Tariq Holder of Parkinson Memorial.
Yes. They're chasing a record, or zonal record of 11.96 seconds, set in 2016 by Jean-Pierre Hines of Christchurch Foundation. And of course, the BSAC record still stands at 11.16 seconds, set in 2011 by Tamal Atwell, then of the Lodge School.
Yes, and of course, I'm hearing about 3 shots. So that one will be rerun.
Sounded like the firing range for a minute.
That's the all right. That sound came from our left.
Tells me that your ears are working well too. You're in good health, Michael Jules.
I trust that I am, Ian. So again, the first of 3 sections in the under 15 boys 100 meters.
Just waiting to see who they're going to
just give a warning to.
Warning to the field, yeah. So you'll probably see that green card again.
And our favorite lady is out again, Ian and Perry.
Our favorite lady. Our favorite lady.
She goes in front of the competitor in lane number 7. That's Holder of Parkinson Memorial. So she gives him a warning since he's the person who committed the infringement, started before the gun. And then she gives a warning to the entire field. Mr. Basil Cox there And this guy is a veteran. And, you know, I told Basil yesterday, Basil, do you know that when I was running, you started races for me? You started my races, and now I am, I'm over 50 years old, and you're still starting races? Wow.
The ever young, evergreen, Mr.
Yes,
Basil
and he
Cox.
looks the same way. So they're off and running the first of 3 under 15 boys 100 meters. Looks like Thomas of Commermere School doing some damage here as they come out the straightaway, being challenged by Auguste of the Alley. Auguste wins it, and Thomas will play second. Aidan Auguste of the Alley School, hands down, claiming that first one. And again, these guys, it's all about time for these guys.
No records were broken in the under 13 boys or girls 100 meters. Shante Morris, she looked fairly quick, but not close enough to the record at all.
I like how young Auguste is looking, though. Certainly should be one to watch as we get ready for the second section. The lane assignments are thus: in lane 2, Tyreek Waterman, the Commermere School. In lane 3, Jeremy Small, Harrison College. In lane 4, Corey Reed, St. George Secondary School. In lane 5, Peter Lowe, the Allen School. In lane 6, we have Shea Prescott of Christchurch Foundation. Lane 7, Isaac Lawrence of Graydon Sealy. And in lane 8, Jadon Pierce of St. Leonard's Boys. As the stadium announcer introduces the athletes to the spectators present here at the stadium, and the cheers go up from the secondary schools, seeing Christchurch Foundation on the other side, Springer Memorial on the other side as well. Combermere.
Not much spectators here from the schools. Actually, not much spectators here at all.
That is very true.
That's another story.
Which is a far cry from what we see in Nassau Arena, because we realize most persons come to see.
But there they go, Perry, and it looks like in lane 3. That's the athlete from Harrison College, Jeremy Small. He's going to cross the line. Got a challenge, very strong challenge
Pierce.
from Jadon Pierce. So it's going to be between those two. A little tight to call at the end. Let me see if I can get a perspective from Mr. Hawkeye himself, Michael Jules.
Well, I will call it for Pierce of St. Leonard's Boys. What would you call Perry?
I will give Pierce the lean on the lane, the torso crossing the lane before the other athlete. College.
And again, we must let our viewers know a race is judged by the torso. That's from the neck to the waist. That region, that must cross that imaginary straight line at the finish, and that determines the winner. Unlike horse racing, where a horse can win by nose, or neck, or head.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen in track.
Gotta get that torso across the lane.
Now I can tell you, in this race, the guy to watch will be the runner in lane number 2, Ashim Vaughn of Parkinson Memorial. Very impressive during the course of the season so far, and I expect a good performance from him. Aragon Straker of the Ursuline Convent will be in lane 3. Tristan Rice of Graydon Sealy in 4. Joshua Wood of Harrison College in 5. Kyle Ford Blades from the St. Leonard's Boys in lane number 6. And Tashawn Seeley of Christchurch Foundation will be running in lane number 7. And they're on the starters' orders.
Been asked to stand.
Asham Vaughn, he's the son of former national badminton player and presently badminton coach of the National Sports Council, Caroline Vaughn.
Oh, yes.
And I know she's very excited about this young man and what he's been doing so far for the season.
A second time, Michael, they've been asked to stand. No clue of what's really happening there at the start of the race.
Probably a little restless down there at the start.
So you see Mr. Cox waving his hands, but the understarters orders once again. We want all the hands behind the line. And there they go. For the under 15 boys, it's the third section. It's looking like lane 6 from the St. Leonard's Boys School. That's Kyle Blazeford. No, in lane 2. Hashem Vaughn, you called it even before it unfolded.
And I don't know why you weren't looking. I don't know why you weren't looking at Ashim Vaughn. I told you look for Ashim Vaughn.
You did.
Of Parkinson Memorial.
You did.
In lane number 2.
My goodness.
But you have any connections to St. Leonard's?
No, I certainly do not have any connections to St. Leonard's. Mr. Jules, do you have any connections to Parkinson?
I do not. I just call it as I know it. I can't call it any other way.
And I see him Vaughn over the weekends and stuff.
Yeah, so we kind of expected that Vaughn would shine in this one.
Yes, he looked pretty good.
Yes. So
but certainly taking nothing away from Kyle Blades. He
that's
pretty
the
good
under
well.
15 boys done, and we are coming up now to the
under
17. They're not seeded on our computer yet, so are they lined up down there yet?
Not seeing anybody on the
Perry,
line.
No athletes are out.
Well, do you have any results that you can bring for us in the meantime?
Yes, we have results of the concluded under 13 boys and girls 100 meters. So we're going to give you the top 8. And 8th position, Springer Memorials, Sarah Ann Aline. 7th, Tatiana Seeley of Commerce School. In 6th position, Jamara Corbach, Ellerslie Secondary. In 5th position, Acacia Court, Christchurch Foundation. 4th position, Tamika Husbands, Aline School in the top 3. 3rd place, Davia Stewart, Aline School, 13.87 seconds. 2nd position, Keelia Bentham, Commerce School, 13.79 seconds. And the champion of the estimated zone 100 meter dash for under 13 girls for 2018, Shante Morris of Christchurch Foundation, 13.07 seconds. And in the under 13 boys, Christian Isles, Christchurch Foundation, 8th. 7th goes to Nathan Brathwaite, Commerce School. 6th position, Christian Griffith, Aline School. In the 5th position, Trey Callender, Ellerslie School. 4th position, Tion Haynes, Commerce School. In the top 3, from Harrison College, 3rd position, Tevin Brathwaite, 13.68 seconds. In 2nd position, Rashawn Batson, Harrison College, 13.62 seconds. And the champion of the under 13 boys 100 meter dash for 2018 in the estimated zone from St. George Secondary School, Jaleel Grosvenor, 13.46 seconds.
Thank you, Perry. And as we promised our viewers, we have the up-to-date scores. So these are the scores so far. Perry, well, actually, Ian, I'll give you the opportunity to read the top. I believe we have scores now, the top 9. And these are schools that are off the mark so far for the girls. Go ahead and tell us how things are shaping up in the girls.
I thank you for the opportunity. In 9th place, the Ellerslie School with 5 points. In 8th, Parkinson Memorial, 6 points. In 7th, Graydon Seeley Secondary, they've amassed 10 points. In 6th, the St. George Secondary School with 15 points. In 5th place, the Combermere School with 29 points. In 4th, the Aline School with 38.5 points. And as we look at the top 3, with 49 points, we have the Lasses from Crumpton Street, Harrison College. They are in 3rd currently with 49 points, and the top 2 among the girls in 2nd position currently, Christchurch Foundation School with 75.5 points, and leading the girls with 77 points, the girls from Government Hill, Springer Memorial, currently in the lead, but very close between 1 and 2.
Just 2.5 points, and you know, I purposely allowed you to read that.
Why? Because Ellerslie was at 9?
No, because Springer Memorial is leading, and I know that's the school you teach at.
Well, that is true, but I work for Sports.bb, so I'm not allowed to bias when I'm on it.
Well, it's okay. If you notice, Perry and I, we are wearing our Lodge School bands. That doesn't mean that we won't be cheering for all the others. It's just that we are Lodge boys. So,
I know you are for sure.
So the male standings then so far: the Ursuline Convent 1 point, Parkinson Memorial 8 points, tied on 12 points each. The Christchurch Foundation School and Ellerslie, St. Leonard's Boys 21, St. George Secondary so far they're on 24, Allen School 32. Harrison College 41, and the Combermere School leading right now on 44 points. And these are early days. These are very, very early days. A lot is going to change, Perry and Ian. We're going to see things change up, guaranteed.
Most definitely.
It certainly is going to be changing over the next few days.
As we said, there are some field events in progress. Much of the attention, of course, will be on the track with the 100 meters coming up. We are now on to the under 17 girls. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Michael? Yeah, I'm seeing some movement in the general area of the 100 meters. Not sure if those are the athletes. Looks like it to me.
I see a lot of athletes. Well, I think what they did, Ian and Michael, they've taken all of the 100-meter runners out there, or the other 17 girls and boys. So as soon as one race goes, we should be seeing, just like we saw in the under 13s, quick progression and flowing.
And that's really the way to do it. And instead of bringing out heat by heat, you need to have all of the heats out there. And actually, that should be done from in a call room, I believe. Yes. And Ian, you were talking about the administration of a track meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, in terms of flow of a meet, it is better to have all of the age categories for a particular event out there, one behind the other. As soon as one heat is finished, the next one is on the line and you keep flowing. Now, it's going to be especially important here for the under 17s and under 20s, where they have to set up blocks, because the block setup for Perry Barnett is going to be extremely different than that of his teammate. So and then they're going to be in different lanes. So of course we need to ensure that we have enough time in between for that transition to occur.
Well, in terms of lane assignments, based on what is in front of me, okay, we're just going to take a little pause on that.
Do we have the under 17 girls record there, Perry?
No, we don't.
We don't have a record?
No, we don't have a record here.
Okay, but we have a start list, and there are 2 sections.
Yes, they are.
Can you see that one there, or would you like it magnified?
I'm seeing quite well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The batteries in my glasses are working well. In lane 1, Darry Miners, the Ursuline Convent School. In lane 2, Keelan Padmore, St. George Secondary. In lane 3, Jada Smith Padmore, the Combermere School. In lane 4, lane that you're familiar with, Leilani Haddock, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Nakilia Nichols of Graydon Sealy. In lane 6, Ashley Jordan, Springer Memorial. In lane 7, that looks like Ronico Jackson of Parkinson Memorial. And in lane 8, Sadaya Russell of Harrison College. First of 2 sections in the under 17 girls 100 meter dash.
Yes,
Time finals, Perry.
Yes, I'm reading just how the record is being set to us, and the zonal record is 12.29 seconds, set in 2016 by Hannah Connell of Christchurch Foundation, and the BSSAC record, a blistering 11.87. set by Tristan Evelyn in 2014. Leilani Haddock has been having the season of her life this year, and she's been really coming on leaps and bounds.
Well, Perry, you know, Leilani Haddock has been winning. However, as an under 17 athlete, she still needs to be running faster. Yes. We must give her kudos for the fact that she is winning, but I need to see her times coming down. And you know, in the under 17 age category, if you're looking to compete at the Carifta level, you have to be running under 12 seconds.
Yes, but what I was commenting on is the fact that she looks a lot stronger. She looks a lot leaner. Her form is coming back. in terms of her running technique. So she's having the season of her life right now, as opposed to last year when she wasn't really there and thereabouts.
Yes, for sure. So our under 17 girls, 2 sections. They're on the starters orders now.
Blocks already set. Girls ready to go, but they're asked to stand. Always nervous moments at the start of a race.
Very much so. I was telling some members of the sports program recently about we were talking about anxiety, and you know, sports psychologists dwell on this quite a bit. If you're too anxious, you may not perform as well. If you're not that anxious, you may not perform. I know for me personally, I could not eat. I had a stomach ache, and not one where I needed to go to the bathroom, but my stomach just ached. And once I got on that line, the stomach ache was gone, and I was ready to roll.
Michael Jules. Barbados is former outstanding 800-meter runner. I may as well classify it as a quarter miler.
No.
You're not a quarter miler?
No.
You're not a quarter miler? Just an 800-meter runner?
8 and
Middle
15.
distance? 8 and 15?
8 and 15.
Middle distance?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I thought you would have stepped up to the 4.
No, that would be stepping down.
Really?
Yes.
You're not stepping up in speed?
I actually won 4 Carifta medals, and those were 2 in the 15 and 2 in the 5,000, actually. So we're having some problems here at the start of this race. I believe nerves are settling for these young ladies. I saw one lady started before the gun, but I don't recall her being
warned or
DQ'd or anything. So we'll watch Mr. Basil Cox and see where he goes. I see a vacant lane there. Lane number 7, Jackson from Parkinson Memorial. She's not starting. No one has been put out, so we're looking good to go here. And they're off to a good start. A very good start there from Leilani Haddock of the Christchurch Foundation School. As expected, she would be the one to beat in here. Leilani Haddock, Christchurch Foundation, all alone. And looking really good, Perry. I agree with you. Sadia Russell of Arson College finishing up in 2nd position there. Your comments on Leilani Haddock?
Like I said, her form is coming back. And last year she looked like she was struggling more or less to get over the distances. I don't know if it's a mindset change. I don't know, but this year she's been really coming along. And like I said before, she's having the season of her life since, dare I say, knapsack, Michael. Because when she got into the BSSAC arena, she didn't find it going as easy as she would have liked. And that was on the 13. On the 15, she kind of languished a little. And on the 17 last year, she just wasn't there. And now she's back again the 2nd year on the 17, coming into good form.
And in this 2nd section here, it's really good to see a competitor from the Ann Hill School. I think we've had some before, and it's really good when these special schools can participate. So that's Abigail Mears. She'll be running out of lane number 1. Kayla Kernan of Harrison College in lane 2. Lane 3, Sarah Lawrence of the Parkinson Memorial. Lane 4, Marielle Corbin of Combermere. Lane 5, from the Christchurch Foundation School, Jalea Denny. And of course, we know of her exploits coming through knapsack BSSAC. Jemiah Best of St. George Secondary in lane 6. Zaria Graves of Spring Memorial in 7. And that's Dee Padmore of the Allen School in lane 8.
And we have a change of fortunes now. And last year, Jalea Denny was having the season of her life. This year, she has a little bit of injuries coming around, shin splints and a little niggling injury in the hip and stuff like that. So she's having a hard time. So we're going to see how she negotiates the zone, and if she gets through to the finals, we're going to see if she's going to recover enough to factor into that top 3 in the finals. But over the past few weekends, she had to pull out of some races. She had to conserve as she was running the hundreds, barely to qualify, etc. So, like I said, mixed fortunes. Haddock having the season of her life. Danny now having the horrors of a horrific season, or so to speak. So we're going to see if she has gotten it together, at least for the zone, and see if she can consolidate for the finals.
Well, I believe she's a more than capable athlete, Perry, in terms of being organized and responsible and athlete enough to get herself ready for today.
Yeah.
She will probably do that which is necessary to qualify, give herself a little more time to recover if she is indeed injured, carrying an injury at this point in time. So we look forward to seeing what she will offer on track today.
I try not to be biased, but I find it hard not to be with like Julia Denny, because I would have had the fortune of introducing her to track and field at the age of 5 years old.
Well, there she goes, and there and in third, Zaria Graves of Springer Memorial, the top three in that particular heat. Michael Jules, a classic.
Oh, yes. Under 7. So the under 17 girls are So the under 17 boys 100 meters, our first of three. In lane number 2 from the Christchurch Foundation School, Saviola Thomas. In lane 3, Khalil Roberts of Harrison College. Lane 4, Sabian Miller of the Allen School. In lane 5, Daquan Clark of the Ellerslie School. Lane 6, Jason Best of the St. George Secondary. And in lane 7, O'Shea Brathwaite of St. Leonard's Boys.
No clear standout here, so we'll wait and see how the young men go. The understarters orders already. Just receiving some last minute instruction from Mr. Cox. And there they go, the under 17 boys, and making the early running in lane 6, it looks like, lane 6 and 5. That's Daquan Clark from Ellerslie School. Oh, no, I'm getting it mixed up here, looking at the wrong thing.
Well, actually,
the Christchurch Foundation lad, Saviola Thomas, he was in the mix. I know Daquan Clark was in the mix as well.
Well, actually, the winner there was Daquan Clark of the Ellerslie School.
Yeah.
I thought you would be rather excited, Ian.
I am seeking to maintain my composure.
So now it's okay for you if you see an outstanding performance, whether it was from your alma mater or not, to get excited. It's allowed.
We saw Sabian Miller from the Allen School getting a horrible start. He actually stumbled and slipped out of the blocks, and that was all she wrote for him.
Yeah, so Clark of the Ellerslie School, he won that first section, and from Harrison College, Roberts finishing second. And now we move to the second. Ian, could you give us the starting lineup there?
In lane 2, Tyrese Eustace of the Allen School. In lane 3, Yuri Clark, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 4, Anthony Eveling of the Ursuline Convent School. In lane 5, Jaheim Blackman, St. George Secondary School. In lane 6, Jared Ford of the Combermere School. And in lane 7, Jean-Pierre Hines of Christchurch Foundation. So, a name that we're familiar with, Perry. Jean-Pierre Hines. We'll see how he goes in this one.
Yes, he comes in as a hot favorite. And again, the Ursuline Convent School having participation from Anthony Evelyn. So this is the second of 3 for the under 17 boys. All-time finals coming up here for all the events. After the 100 meters, we'll see the 400 meters. Always exciting.
Jonathan Jones, we'll see him again, I believe.
Probably, I think. And, you know, it would be interesting to see Jonathan run a 46 point today. I would love to see a 46 point today.
We'll also get to take a look at Delano Wickham.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Wow. I'm getting excited. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So we don't want you viewers to go anywhere. We want you to stick to Sports.bb for live stream coverage. Tell your friends. Pass the link on to your friends. Our guys over in the technical department, how many viewers do we have so far? 295.
We've just had,
and we've just started. So we're inviting you to share the link with your friends. We want to get up to 2,095, not 200, 2,095. On the starters' orders, off to a good start.
No, false start actually.
Here in the second gun.
Michael, while we're talking about viewership, we want to say a special welcome to the Christian Union Junior Academy there in Antigua. Mr. Desmond Brown Jr. I had the pleasure of teaching him at primary school, and he's logged in, and I'm going to encourage him to share the link with all of his friends so that they can see how we do secondary school sports here in Barbados. And also we have the Christchurch the Foundation Mixed School in Antigua, there in the heart of St. John's, Antigua. Mr. Davis is deputy principal. He's logged in as well. So I say hello to him.
Well, that's good, Perry, that we have some regional viewership, and we're hoping that we will go international. I know last year we had folks viewing from Germany and from the United States and from the UK. And just to let you guys know, viewership has... What's the slogan again? Viewership has its rewards.
Certainly
yes. So, some of the things we will be giving away once you keep locked on: a Sports.bb Fan Zone t-shirt, a hamper compliments Pharmacy Sales Caribbean Inc., 1 week pass to Flawless Gym. So those are just some of the giveaways, and of course, as we go on, the giveaways tend to get greater and greater, and these are just today's giveaways: a Sports.bb Fan Zone t-shirt, a hamper compliments Pharmacy Sales, and a week pass to Flawless Gym. So keep locked on to Sports.bb, live stream, and the Under-17 boys second section off and running. Eustace, Clark, Evelyn, Blackman, Ford, and Jean-Pierre Hines of the Christchurch Foundation School. And he runs away with this one looking so nice and easy. Jean-Pierre Hines. Who called that one? You, Ian?
Well, I think Perry and myself, we would have seen Jean-Pierre Hines at the school sports.
Oh, yes.
School sports. So we always had him in mind to be one to pay attention to. Of course, someone like yourself, who is usually here on Saturdays for the meets as well, you'll be able to give a greater perspective, and having the keen eye that you do, I'm sure that you yourself would have also had him as the favorite.
Yes, and I can tell you, we have an exciting runner coming up here in this third section, a guy that we would have seen come through knapsack, through BSSAC. No, this guy is probably Perry. You were talking earlier about athletes who tend to develop a little later, and Mikhail Carvalho of Commonwealth School, who will be running out of lane number 3. This is a guy who has developed. We saw him not doing that well, but he was in there. But this year, he's been rather impressive. Mikhail Carvalho of Commonwealth, so he'll be the one to watch running in lane number 3.
He's also having a very good season.
Yes, he was always at Commonwealth. So our lane assignments then for this final section for the Under-17 boys: Job Hines of the Ursuline Convent, he'll be running out of lane 2. In 3, Mikhail Carvalho representing the Commonwealth School. Brandon Watson will be in 4 from Harrison College. In 5, from Graydon Seeley, Vernon Eiffel. In lane number 6, Joseph Mitchell of Parkinson Memorial. And lane 7, Ori Edwards from the Ellerslie Secondary School.
Just getting themselves sorted now in terms of their blocks and the settings.
Just doing just running out of the blocks to make sure that everything is correct. Very important to get that start right, especially in the 100 meters. Right?
Looking back, Perry, of course, we wouldn't have seen this at the various house meets that we would have attended.
Yes, and we mentioned that.
But now it is mandatory that from the under-17 level, the young men and young ladies use their blocks.
I should dare say maybe those who are able to use them are under 15, because last year what happened what happened when we went to CUT, the under 15s had to actually use blocks. Yes. And a lot of them were caught on the roads for the first time. So we need to really develop this from early.
Yes, we do.
And I have no difficulty at all with athletes learning the correct way to use the blocks from early. None at all. So the under starters orders, final section for the under 17 boys, they're off. And Carvalho had a great start and looking quite easy and comfortable, getting a challenge from Watson of Harrison College. But he runs away with this one. Carvalho in first, and Watson of Harrison College in there to finish in second. And that completes the under-17 boys 100 meters. Time finals. Two coming up for the under-20 girls.
We'll see, Michael, if any of those boys in those heats bested the record, the zonal record of 10.85 seconds set by Matthew Clark with Commonwealth School in 2016. And we still have that. You got to sit for this one. The BSSAC record, 10.56 seconds, set in 1992 by Obadele Thompson, then of Harrison College.
Wow. How much years is that? 2 from 86? Is that
That's what
26 years? 26 26 years?
26 years.
Wow.
It's a long
That's
time.
really wow.
It's a really long time.
That is outstanding.
The under 20 girls already on the line though. 2 sections in this under 20 girls 100 meter dash. In lane 2, Fraka Bino 4 from Harrison College. In lane 3, Nakara Hunt, Combermere. In lane 4, Marissa Watts, Springer Memorial. In lane 5, Shemaya O'Dane, Yaling School. In lane 6, Krista Padmore. She is representing the St. George Secondary School. And in lane 7, Tiana Rouse of Christchurch Foundation, rounding out the field in the
and of
first
course,
section.
of course, Shemaya O'Dane comes in here as the hot favorite
She
from
has
the
to.
Allen School. This is a young lady
second.
that I have some time for, Perry and Ian.
Oh,
Think
yes.
she has immense talent, ability. Think she can go far. Shemaya O'Dane of the Allen School. We'll see how far she'll run. What's the record? Do you have the record for the under 20 girls 100?
We haven't gotten the record as yet. But I am, as we speak, I can see the runner coming. So maybe he has the record in his hands.
Yeah.
Well,
There now.
yes,
He's been very
doing
very
a good
efficient.
job. He's
Doing a
been
wonderful
very
job.
efficient, this young man.
I have to find out his name.
Yes, so we can give him some kudos. I'm sure his mommy, if she's listening, would be very pleased to know that her son is here doing a magnificent job.
Getting in some good exercise, I'm sure.
That too.
Burning some calories.
And Michael, as young Mr. Sean Butcher, I see he's wearing a Queen's College shirt. So kudos to him. He's a very efficient and punctual runner. He's always on time. And as we mentioned, the records and stuff are coming. Results
Results are coming as well.
We have the under 20 girl record here. They are chasing the time of 11:98, set by Hannah Connell of Christchurch Foundation just last year. And the BSSAC record stands at 11:64, set way back in 1985.
That's I can tell you that. Don't say, I'll tell you. You're Lance Strong
of
Ellerslie Secondary.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, she was my teammate. Carifta Games. Here we go, a good start under 20 girls, 100 meters. Looking for Shemaya O'Dane of the Allen School to take this one, and I believe he'll be true to form. Shemaya O'Dane, blister in the field. Second place will go to Marissa Watts of the Springer Memorial. So the record books, the books have been written correctly here, at least for this one. Shemaya O'Dane will finish in first place, and she does so.
Yes, she does.
I think the pace will pick up a little in this second heat, Michael.
It certainly will.
Yes,
See a familiar name
I
there.
wonder why you guys are saying that.
If you look in lane 6, Michael.
Oh, I see.
Lane 6.
I see why you guys are saying that.
Yep.
And while they're getting their blocks ready, Michael, we had an interesting discussion at one of these inter-house meets. I was commenting to Ian that we are seeing the best athletes who are training, but we're not seeing the best athletes in Barbados. And I went on to explain myself, and I challenged persons to comment on it. Maybe we need to have a program in place, maybe a developmental program within the community, a community developmental program where we have so many sports council facilities in the communities and so many coaches who live within those communities that we can come together and have those kids come maybe 2 or 3 days.
Perry, you're bringing up some very interesting discussion, which I'm going to take up with you right after this under 20 girls 100 meters. So in lane number 2, Sierra Coward of Springer Memorial. Lane 3, Janaya Drakes of Harrison College. Lane 4, Shanna Adams of Combermere. Lane 5, Sardinia Hazel of the St. George Secondary. And the odds-on favorite here in lane number 6 from Christchurch Foundation School, Hannah Connell. And she's the record holder in this zone, the Esther Maynard zone.
Looked
The
pretty
time
sharp.
again was 11:98.
11:98.
So we'll see if she can go a tip faster than that.
Looked pretty good at her house meet.
They're off, and she's off like a bullet. That
Oh
bullet
my
you heard,
gosh.
I think that was her. Hannah Connell of the Christchurch Foundation School. Blister in the field. She is going to take this one quite easy. Second will go to Sierra Coward of Springer Memorial. No doubt. Hannah Connell. Class act here in the under 20 girls 100 meters. What were we saying again?
Right, we were discussing and we just
Yes.
stand a minute.
Yeah.
Right, so we were discussing the implementation of a community developmental program.
Well, Perry, just to make some comments on what you mentioned. First off, your comment about not having the best talent. I want to refer to, there was a young man who is now a member of the Barbados Defense Force, now a soldier. And this guy, I recall he went to the then St. Lucie Secondary School, Dario Burnham. Dario Burnham was the best thing here running 1,500 meters. I think he won every year he ran at BSSAC, he won the 1,500 meters. And yet, we were not able to get this guy to go on to compete at a higher level. And he's still very, very fit. As a soldier, he should be, though. And he is extremely fit. However, your point is valid because I believe that there's so many other young men and women out there within communities, within the schools, who we just have not been able to find that talent and also harness the talent. And I do agree with you that within each community in Barbados, we can have even little pools of clubs. I am one who believes that we can have even more track and field clubs in Barbados, because the thing is, you want to have the St. Joseph's, the St. Lucy's, those areas where kids may find it hard to get into the city to train. If you have those clubs right there in, let us say, Checker Hall in St. Lucie, a club is based there, and you have the kids from that area going to those clubs, and there's the Checker Hall facility that's run and owned by the National Sports Council. So I think you're right on the ball.
When Perry and I discussed the issue, I referenced cricket and the model that is used in terms of the community setup. So you have clubs like Carlton, you have Empire and Pickwick and those kind of. So you have a lot of community groups who would have obviously, and that's why Barbados keeps producing cricketers. Because the structure is there. So I think it can all go well going forward, certainly for our athletics, if we were to implement a similar structure.
Yes, because we just can't, go with just the few. Wow, this one has gone and left us. Only 2 athletes. What happened there? Just 2 guys.
These guys don't look like under.
Wow.
They don't look like under 20s, Michael.
They look like under 13s.
Well,
I think maybe one of the age groups those guys may have been competing in a field event in the lower
okay,
age.
and then they decided to run them off so they could get a time.
So we're gonna hear this say them
Wow.
now, sir. Right,
Under 13.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, back to the point we were making earlier. Coaches have to be extremely careful. They have to be strategic in terms of looking at the athletes they have, looking at the schedule of events, and determining, do I have a kid that I really can put to do 2 events and gain maximum points from this athlete, or should I just leave them in one and put somebody else? And I really don't know what the case is with these 2 guys, but nevertheless,
I'm assuming. I knew there was on the 13. There were 2 on the 13 boys events going on at the time of the 100 meters. I'm assuming that those boys may have been in those 1 or 2 of those events, and I still must give kudos to the organizers for letting them actually get a chance to run for time.
Well, the under 20 boys are on the line, Perry. We have 2 sections in this division. In lane 1, Khalid Carter, Combermere School. In lane 2, Terrell Hines, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 3, Davion Clark, the Allen School in lane 4. That looks like Siobhan Jones of St. George Secondary in lane 5.
Yes.
We have Joshua Croney, the Ursuline Convent School in lane 6. Tristan Harper, Parkinson Memorial in lane 7. Julian Ford of Harrison College, and in lane 8, Laquan Trotman of Christchurch Foundation. In terms of the record for the Esther Maynard zone, is a record held by Jaquan Hoyt of St. Leonard's Boys, a time of 10.74, set back in 2016. So a 2-year-old record. Let's see how these young men go, whether they will challenge that record or not. Harrison College, Perry.
You gotta watch Julian Ford.
Julian Ford.
Julian Ford of Harrison College. He's one to watch in there. They're also chasing the BSAC record in 10.35 seconds set in 2015 by Mario Burke. I was here. I saw that run.
I was here as well, Perry. Mario Burke, certainly an outstanding athlete. Playing his trade now in the US of A at the University of Houston.
And doing well.
Doing very well for himself and for his country.
And he's such a polite and humble young man.
I actually had a conversation with him sometime last year when his parents would have gone over to the US to just pay him a visit. Indeed, I can concur with your sentiment that he is a respectful young man, and that coupled with his athletic ability, I certainly admire him, and I am a huge fan of Mario Burke. I hope he can go on to do some fantastic things on the world stage for Barbados.
I believe it once we see a fit Mario Burke, we are going to see the best from him all the time, and we are going to see Mario Burke taking Barbados flag high.
I'm waiting the day though he goes sub 10. I'm really anxiously awaiting that day when he goes sub 10.
I have no doubt that is coming, Ian. I have no doubt that is coming.
But we turn our attention back to the track. Perry Khaled Carter in lane 1. Terrell Hines in lane 2. Davion Clark 3. Jones 4. Croney 5. Harper in 6. Ford in 7. And in 8, Laquan Trotman of Christchurch Foundation. Of course, this is the first of 2 sections. We just await instructions now from the starter. It's been a cool day here at the National Stadium. Lots of cloud coverage, no rain, thankfully. The athletes have not had to endure a lot of sunshine today, so the sun wouldn't have drained a lot of their energy.
I was speaking to the dad of one athlete that really excites us, Kobe Hudson, and I know Kobe, and the dad basically confirmed what I thought. He loves this weather conditions. He is going to run some. I have no doubt Kobe is going to run some phenomenal times today once he's 100%. So I'm really eager and looking forward to seeing Kobe Hudson today as well. But we turn our attention back to this
cooling
100
breeze
meters.
now blows across the National Stadium, and we get ready for section 1 of the under-20 boys. And out like a bullet was the young man from Christchurch Foundation, Laquan Trotman, and we're watching him, and I'm watching Julian Ford, and it looks like Ford on the line. He's followed by Laquan Trotman of Christchurch Foundation. So lane 7 and 8, that's where most of the running was done in that first section. The top 2 finishers in that heat.
Yes, Julian Ford. I remember last year we were commenting on the fact that he wasn't coming out to the Saturday meets and stuff. I think it was for religious reasons. And after BSAC, we saw him at about 2 or 3 of them, and I really, really like what I saw. And to see him here now again, it shows that he is committed, and it shows that he is willing to put in that extra work.
Well, that's what you need if you're going to succeed, Perry. Work is always important.
Yes, I think all parents who are listening and all those children who are listening as well need to understand that you cannot get success without hard work.
That's very important as we get ready now for the second section. among the under-20 boys. These are time finals, of course. This is going to be the last heat. And from here on, we go on to the 400 meters, where there is lots of excitement. We're going to see that young man, Kobe Hudson. We're going to see Jonathan Jones. We're going to see Delano Wickham. There's a young man from Foundation as well. I'm a tall lad. I'm trying to remember his name now off the top of my head. Raheem Tate Best. That's the young man I'm referring to. Raheem Tate Best. A lot of name, but he's a good athlete. And
he holds 3 records. He holds 3 zonal records at NAPSAT. They're still standing, and he set those when he was about 9 years old, 9 going 10. So, and they're still standing. So
yes, he didn't have the best of house meets when we saw him.
No, I think what happened is, again, we were talking about children development, physical development. Ian, he has been having some serious growth spurts, and it's okay to get a growth spurt out of season, and the coaches and stuff will work on strengthening the muscles required to get you rated. But when you get a growth spurt at the beginning of a season or in the middle of a season, then you really have to be struggling. And I think that's what happens to him. But he's a very determined, very focused young man, and he's taking it all in stride. So I have no doubt that when he starts to really come good, he's going to be exceptional.
Well, we certainly wish him well. We look forward to those 400-meter events. And it won't be too long now before we get underway with those.
Okay, so we have the second section in lane number 1. These are the under-20 boys. We have in lane number 1, Manny Cheltenham, St. Leonard's boys. In lane 2, Cobia Hamlin, Commonwealth School. In lane 3, Leandra Walker, Allen School. In lane 4, Josiah Atkins, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 5, Tamani Best, the Ellerslie School. In lane number 6, Justin Neal, St. George Secondary. In lane 7, Cody Hamilton, Graydon Sealy. And in lane number 8, Micaiah Gittins, Harrison College.
Any standouts from where we sit, Perry? Any names that ring a bell?
Josiah Atkins.
Josiah Atkins, yes, from Christchurch Foundation. He would be one of those names, definitely.
Well, you know, they have to run on the day, so we're going to see what happens in these under-20s.
Let's wait and see how it goes. Timani Best, that's the son of Tino Best, former West Indies cricketer.
Yes, that's him. I remember speaking to Timani when he was, how old? He probably was about 14, something like that.
Yes.
He was really into cricket.
He is still into cricket. He's still
very much into cricket as well. Good to see it that he's a multi-sport person.
Yeah, so let's see how the athletes go in this one, the second section, second and final one, really. And there they go for the second and final section of the under-20 boys, 100 meters in the middle of the track. I'm seeing some action, but no, let me turn my attention to Cody Hamilton. Yes, no, that's 4. That's Josiah Atkins, as we thought initially.
And Leandra Walker there from the Allen School in second, it looks like. Am I correct?
I am hoping you are. Let's see. There are a number of tents, and the tents are preventing us from getting a proper perspective.
We get a front-on view
of what is really happening. We have a front-on view
up onto the last 5 meters.
Up onto the last 5 meters. So it's really difficult to call it from this vantage point, to be honest with you. But we certainly can make it for Josiah Atkins from the Christchurch Foundation School. We await the official results to see who would have come in second there. You have some results there for us?
We have results. The runner he's been very efficient. He's brought the under 13 400 meters.
Oh, the 400 meters.
But we have results, Ian. Also, he brought some results before. We have results from the boys discus throw, the junior boys discus throw. They're throwing the 1K discus, and we can give you the top 8. 8th position, Joshua Wood, Harrison College. 7th position, Shakur Thorne, St. George Secondary. 6th position, Joshua Haynes, St. Leonard's Boys. In 5th, we have Azarian Weeks, Harrison College. In 4th position, Imani Austin, St. Leonard's Boys, and the top 3. 3rd, St. Leonard's Boys has Andrea Lashley Coppin. He threw 30.85 meters. 2nd position goes to Hakeem Sobers of St. George Secondary School, 32.49. And the champion of the junior boys shot put for 2017 from the Allen School, Tyreek Bailey Edwards, 33.34 meters, and I would have had the pleasure of teaching him at primary school. He's a tall lad. If you see him, you will not believe it.
And not wasting any time here at all.
That's high jump. Before we go there, high jump. We're going to give you the top 3 in the high jump for the under 13 girls. Third place, Ramaya Ned Clark, Springer Memorial, 1.20. Second, Kaylee Goodridge, Springer Memorial, 1.25. And the champion from Graydon Sealy, Janaea Callender, 1.28. And we turn our attention now to the under 13 girls 400 meters.
Yes, Perry. I'm trying to see how I can get that official start list here.
Well, you get that. I think I have a printed copy, so you can bring up that on the computer. Ian, I'll just call the lane assignments here. In lane number 1, Shemaya Hunt, Springer Memorial. In lane 2, Shania Griffith, Ellerslie School. In lane 3, Davia Stewart, Allen School. In lane number 4, St. George Secondary's Emerald Sobers. In lane number 5, Marissa Wren of Graydon Sealy. In lane 6, Sage Hunt, Christchurch Foundation School. In lane 7, Anaya Bryan of Commonwealth School. And in lane number 8, Risha Simmons of Parkinson Memorial. And they're chasing the under 13 zonal record of 63.97 seconds set by Brianna Boyce of Allen School in 2017. The BSSAC record is a blistering 59.74 seconds set by Rosette Hoyt, then of Springer Memorial in 2012.
Well, they're on the line already. And we get ready for the start of the first of 2 timed finals.
Again, these are the youngsters coming over from primary school. Some of them would not have factored into knapsack, and this is their time to shine. So we're going to wish them all the best.
We certainly will, Perry. As these young lasses begin their campaigns.
I'm also witnessing the arrival of Miss Esther Maynard, who is also one of the members of the AAB, and we're going to see a lot of them coming in and stuff, because I believe they're going to be looking at the performances of the under 17 and under 18, under 17 and under 20 age groups, and in terms of what's going on in their performances. There's some athletes who are knocking on that CARIFTA qualifying window or door for a while now, and we want to see if they've actually lured or gotten to that achieved that standard. So you're going to see a lot of AAB persons coming and going, and they're going to be perusing the results and stuff as well.
Under 13 girls on the starters orders, and there they go for this first section in the under 13 girls 400 meters. The early running, it looks like on the middle of the track, really, the athletes from the Combermere School. Is that Combermere in the middle there?
I see Christchurch Foundation, and I see Allen School
in the mix as well.
Allen School, they're looking nice. I think that's the Allen School.
As they approach 200 meters, we should get a better perspective as what's going to be really happening in terms of the lead.
So the running is being done between, it looks like, the Allen School and Christchurch Foundation, it looks like, from my vantage point.
Watch on the inside, the young lady from Springer Memorial now making her way down the straight. She may very well challenge for that second position. Let's see how she goes. And that young lady is Shanna Hunt from Springer Memorial, but out front and center in lane 6, it looks like Sage Hunt of Christchurch Foundation. She is going to win this under 13 girls first section. There she goes. She crosses the line, walks across the line, really, from Aline in lane 3, Davia Stewart, and crossing the line from Springer Memorial in third is Shania Hunt. The top 3 finishers in the under 13 girls. That's section 1 of 2, of course.
It's a good run from the young lady from Christchurch Foundation. I would have loved to see her run through the line, though.
Would have been fantastic.
Because that stepping across may affect her overall position, because these are timed finals,
yes,
and we have to take that into account. So when they put all these times together and they look at the fastest time, they see them based on the fastest time, she may not be on that podium, especially if this second heat turns out to be a lot faster than the first one.
It is very well possible, Perry, and it is important that these athletes run through the line because it could mean the difference between lane 4
Or 5.
or
Well, in
being,
this case,
being left out altogether.
in this case, it made a difference between getting the medal and being on the medal podium as a top 3 finisher, or just sitting down watching someone else getting it instead of you.
You sure bet.
So we have Elena Simons, lane 8, Helena Aline Harrison College, and lane 7, O'Shea Jordan St. George Secondary, and lane 6, Akaya Calendar Graydon City, and lane 5, Brianna Beard Springer Memorial, and lane number 4, Calicia Downs College Church Foundation, and lane number 3, Taisha Agard, the Aline School, and lane 2, Keelia Bentham of Conmere School, and then lane number 1, Divine Nareen, the Ellerslie School. And I'm going to keep my eyes on Calicia Downs of Christchurch Foundation, stepping up into the big leagues, basically, so to speak, coming straight from NAPSAC as an under 13 athlete and coming into the under 15 division at BSAC. We saw her running the house sports. I've seen her also running on some of the Saturday meets and stuff, and she's been coming along pretty nicely. And I'm interested to see how she negotiates the 400 meters. Now she has some stiffer competition.
Well, we'll see how they go. Of course, we've seen some of them at NAPSAC. We've seen some of them at their house meets. It's a different ball game here, though. These young ladies will want to go out and give it their all. Timed finals. Crossing that line in a good time could mean the difference between first and second place. There they go. Second section of the under 13 girls 400 meters. In the middle, it looks like Downs of Christchurch Foundation.
Yes, the athlete on the outside is O'Shea Jordan of St. George Secondary. She's gone out nice and hard as well.
I'm seeing the athlete from Combermere as well, Perry, on the inside, Keela Bentham, looking to challenge very early.
As they get to the 200 meter mark right about now, it's Downs, it's Bentham, and it's the athlete from that's St. George, is it?
Yes, St. George. Out front, though, that looks to me like Calicia Downs.
Yes, Calicia Downs is still in charge. She needs to work on her form, though. Her arms are not going where they should be going, but she's certainly getting the job done, so to speak, as she is leading.
Yes, as they straighten up now, she's certainly some distance ahead, being chased. I make it by Brianna Beard of Springer Memorial. But Downs is going to cross the line now. Brianna Beard of Springer Memorial in second, and it looks like from the Aline School in third place, Taisha Agard.
Yes, I now realize the Aline School has changed their track and field gear as well. So
the sponsorship is flowing, Perry.
We thank corporate Barbados for lending their support to the track and field and stuff in Barbados, and it's nice to see when schools are able to afford it. And these changes sometimes they have such a profound psychological effect on the athletes. When they come and they get new gear and they put on this new gear, it's lovely to see how a child face lights up when you give them new gear.
Well, serves as some extra motivation for the young ones sometimes, you know. They look forward to wearing the school's colors at a meet such as this, having transitioned through the inter-house phase, and this now is like their crowning glory, especially as a junior athlete, to go out there representing your school in the school's colors, and of course being cheered along the way by the old scholars, as we like to call it here in Barbados. And I'm sure that there are a number of old scholars tuning in to Sports.bb. Of course, the coverage is brought to you with the kind compliments of Pharmacy Sales Caribbean Inc., Ozone Wireless, Scotiabank, Sagicor, as well as Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, Bryden Stokes, and the folks at Flawless Gym. This is, of course, the Sol Esther Maynard Zone. Sol coming on board this year in a very big way to give some support to the Esther Maynard Zone. Any lane assignments, Perry?
Yes, we have the lane assignments. We have the record as well. Our runner is doing an excellent job. We have in lane number 2, Javonte Thorne, Graydon Seeley. In lane 3, Christopher Lestrade, Ellerslie Secondary School. In lane 4, Renako Brown, Aline School. In lane number 5, Miles Aline, Harrison College. In lane 6, Ishmael Aline, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 7, Daniel Duncan of Christchurch Foundation. They're chasing a record of 59.15. This is a zonal record set in 2016 by Jamarco Gill, a very informed Jamarco Gill back then. And the BSAC record, 56.67, set by Willan Louis, then of the St. Leonard's Boys. And I'm going to watch Daniel Duncan out there in lane number 7 for Christchurch Foundation. Stepping up from knapsack this year, coming straight into under 15. But he's the class act as well.
Well, I remember him from the house meet. Let's see how he goes over this distance.
Yes, and he's going up pretty nicely on the outside.
Yes, looking pretty good indeed, Perry. This is a nice little pace here by the under 13 boys. Watch young man from St. Leonard's.
Aline coming up on his shoulder there.
Yeah.
Duncan has to go. He has to run. He can't run in lane number 7 or 8 and
maybe he's timing his race, Perry, but as they approach 200 meters right now, it looks like Ismail Aline, and he's taking command of this race. But don't count out Daniel Duncan yet.
We know Duncan has a kick.
He certainly does.
We see him now trying to employ that kick as they come off the turn. And he's coming up to Aline. Does he have enough to get past Aline? It looks so to me.
It looks so. Daniel Duncan running back at him now. In fact, he's going to pass him, Perry. Let's see if they're going to sprint to the finish. Is there going to be a sprint to the finish?
No,
There's not going to be a sprint to the finish.
There.
He's not able to go with Daniel Duncan today. Daniel Duncan is going to take this one from Ismail Aline. Crossing the line now is Duncan, followed by, oh my goodness, Aline, and he almost, Perry, got nipped on the line there. We're talking
by Renako Brown.
We're talking the entire morning about making sure you run all the way through the finish. That was very important. He could have lost out on second place there.
That's going to affect his overall position.
Well, of course, it depends on what happens in this second section. That was the first section in the under 13 boys. Okay. And we have coming up in the second section, let's see, we have in lane 1, it looks like Tristan Clark of Christchurch Foundation. I see in lane 2, Khalik Ashby of Graydon Sealy. In lane 4, Kishmar Lowe of St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 4, Trey Callender of the Ellerslie School. In lane 5, I'm seeing Rashawn Batson of Harrison College. Lane 6, Jean-Luc Stout of Combermere School. In lane 7, to Sean Maloney of the Aline School. And in lane 8, Jadon Perch of St. George Secondary. Young men already on the line, Perry.
Yes, we see that they're lined up. Very tall lad from St. Leonard's Boys, Kishmar Lowe. He's head and shoulders above most of the guys. He just stands out to me.
Looking at Tristan Clark as well in lane 1. He looks to be a pretty tall lad as well. Certainly not as tall as Lowe.
But again, they have to negotiate this 400 meters. So we'll see who has the best strategy out of the lot, and who has what it takes in terms of the conditioning and the endurance.
At this stage in the under 13 level, Perry, there's a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. I think the young men just want to get around the track as quickly as possible.
You would be amazed, Ian. You would be amazed.
Well, amaze me, Perry.
You would be amazed. I think what you need to do is watch. Nowadays it comes down to the athletes who are in clubs and are being coached. You don't just let them just run the 400 meters just for run the 400 meters sake. They have to start understanding how to run it. They break down into sections, and they learn how to run each section, because the 400 meter race is more than one race. It's 3 or 4 different races within a race, and depends on how you break it down. So there's a lot of strategy even at this age. You no longer can see an athlete going all out without conditioning. So you got to strategize. You got to condition the athlete. Then you have some athletes who don't kick from the beginning. They develop as they go on. So there's a lot of strategy employed. So we're going to see I just saw with Daniel Duncan. He went out hard, controlled the back stretch, and then he came again.
Clark, Ashby, Lowe, Callender, Batson, Stout, Maloney, and Perch. All competitors in this second section of the under 13 boys 400 meters. All the way out on the outside in lane 8. Perch of St. George Secondary. He is out like a shot from a gun, Perry, and he's running and running hard. Let's see if he'll be able to maintain that as they approach 200 meters. Staying in very close contention, though. Yes, is Batson from Harrison College, and he's going to probably take control now at about 200 meters. They approach the 150 meter mark now, Perry. We're seeing Harrison College taking charge. That's Batson. Is he going to get a challenge?
You're going to see a lot of running being done at that 150 mark. I was just about to say. But Batson, now we see the tall lad there from St. Leonard, Kishmar Lowe.
Yes, he's
now
going to
starting
chase
to
him
open
down.
up those long legs of his and try to chase him down.
Is he going to be successful, Perry?
Can Batson hold on?
Let's see. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Batson is going to hold on. A very good run, though, by both young men. Batson, I think, of Harrison College, probably having a better race strategy than Lowe. I think Lowe probably should have started his
Kick from a little
kick
earlier.
Yes. But
You're
learning.
A lot of strategy goes into it, and
Yes.
they're going to learn as they go on, as they get to understand their bodies and how conditioned they are. And the confidence level goes up. They're going to really learn. And you want to see, dare I say, some of these same youngsters coming back and under 15 and moving up the ranks and doing really, really well.
And on our camera right now, the under 15 girls, out they come.
Wow.
And this should be interesting. I'm seeing in this one Beyonce Waldron, a young lady that has shown a lot of promise this season. She's been running some fantastic 400 meter races.
Okay, so we have another athlete here in lane number 5, Kaya Kelman Wall of Christchurch Foundation. She's the one to watch for me.
Yes.
So we have in lane 8, Tamara Hoyt Parkinson. Lane 7, Danica Gittins, St. George Secondary. She's the one also you can need to watch. And lane 6, Cairo Boyce, Ellerslie School. And lane 5, Kaya Kelman Wall, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 4, Kayla Renwick, Harrison College. In lane 3, Mayasha Raymond, Colmere School. And in lane number 2, Beyonce Waldron of Springer Memorial. And in lane number 1, Aisha Adamson, Aline School.
The new Springer kit with a little red in it, Perry. That's not, or is that kinesthetic tape on her?
I think
is that tape?
No, that's
there's something under it.
Right.
Oh, okay. Had me fooled for a minute.
You teach.
Yeah, I thought it was a little red.
Yeah,
I know that's not among the school colors.
You missed the memo.
Yeah, I probably did. New kit, Aline New Kit, Spring Memorial. They're in
Christchurch Foundation as well.
Christchurch Foundation. They've been asked to stand blue and white. Now the colors to identify Spring Memorial by Christchurch Foundation, of course, just it's still in their yellow or the gold and black. I know Barry Wilkinson is locked on, and he's a distinguished alumnus of the Christchurch Foundation School. So good morning to you, Barry. Aline also looking good. So the schools are smartly attired for this 2018 edition of the Solve Esther Maynard Zone. And there they go for the under 15 girls. First of 2 sections doing the early running. Looking pretty good right now. I'm seeing is the young lady on the outside from St. George Secondary, Danica Gittins. These are early days yet, but coming hard is Beyonce Waldron. Let's see if she's able to maintain this. She's been running some good races this season, but my goodness, look at the young lady from St. George Secondary, Perry. That young lady Gittins, she is really putting some distance between herself and the rest of the field. But here comes Beyonce Waldron. She's not playing today. She's going to run her down. Beyonce Waldron, she's running and she's going to take charge of this race right about now. Beyonce Waldron, Spring Memorial, running out of lane 2. Well, she's taken charge, Perry, and she's all arms and legs pumping. Still a little form to work on. She needs to work on that, of course. Head going from side to side, but Beyonce Waldron, all heart and soul. She's going to cross the line right about now, winning this first heat. The Spring Memorial. Second is, that's the young lady from St. George.
Yes.
That's Danica Gittins. I didn't.
Arlene School,
get to
Aisha
see-
Adamson was third, and
Was
Kaya
third?
Campbell Wall was fourth. I think what happened there, Ian, Danica Gittins, she ran just how you were supposed to run out there, running blind in lane 7 and 8. She went out hard. She stretched the field out. And as you can see, the athlete from Springer Memorial, even though she won, she's down on the ground. She's in a lot of discomfort because she had to run the race of her life to catch Danica, pass Danica, and then hold on to the line. I think that also kind of had Camel Wall out of sorts, so to speak, because she's normally one who sits back and controls. She's one of those athletes who we talk about controlling the race from the middle of the field and then kicking at the 200-meter mark. And by the time she decided to kick, the damage was done. Danica Gittins was out like a bullet and flying around the bend.
And Danica Gittins is not a name that we are familiar with. So, I mean, we call these races sometimes, and we are not aware of some of these athletes that we have not seen because we did not attend every inter-house meet.
But I've seen Danica on Saturdays.
Yes.
But she looks a lot better today.
Yes.
I've seen her on Saturdays because St. George, kudos to the PT teachers at St. George Secondary. They've been bringing the athletes out on almost every weekend meet that they can bring them to. So they've been really getting a lot of competition fitness.
And St. George, a trend that we've been seeing continued from last year. They have been doing exceptionally well at this meet. You've been seeing a strong presence of St. George athletes. So continuing from last year, it's a good look for the St. George Secondary School. So kudos to them and their physical education department.
Section 2, Ian.
Section 2, in terms of lane assignments, in lane 1, we have Shania Thomas of Harrison College. In lane 2, Kimrika Seeley of St. George Secondary. Lane 3, Tiara Stewart, the Ellerslie Secondary School. In lane 4, that looks like Shania Aline of Combermere School. In lane 5, Malia Edwards, Springer Memorial. In lane 6, Sapphire Stevens of Christchurch Foundation. And in lane 7, Brianna Boyce of the Aline School.
Yes, Malia Edwards from Springer Memorial. She's one to watch in this one. I think she was the division champion at her school in all sports. She has some pedigree as well. But the athlete there from Combermere School, Shania Aline, she's coming up there as well. But on the outside, it looks like that's the Aline School.
Yes,
Brianna Boyce of the Aline School.
I was going to mention her. I think she is one of those outstanding athletes from the Aline School that we need to pay attention to.
Yes.
She has a record here, I think, in the under 13 division. So she is certainly one of the quality athletes that may very well factor. But in the lead at the moment, Perry, who is this that we're seeing here? Is that the Ellerslie School?
Ellerslie School, Tiara Stewart. And here comes Malia Edwards on Springer.
Malia Edwards.
Short in stature, but big in heart. And she's trying to run them down, trying to split the field. So she's going to come in there for a second.
Yeah, she's going to come in second. A very good run from Tiara Stewart from the Ellerslie Secondary School. We had then Malia Edwards factoring in there in the second place. Did Brianna Boyce getting there?
Brianna Boyce came third, yes.
So the top 3 finishers among the under 15 girls. Well, for that section at least, we await the times to see who will advance.
And we also know the Malia Edwards, as I was saying earlier at your house, in-house sports, she was the division champion, I believe, and she would have dominated in the longer distances. And now we see a familiar face coming out here for the under 15 boys.
Yes,
things are going to heat up a little.
A young man by the name of Kobe Hudson.
Very soft-spoken, very respectful, very polite, and focused young man. It's always a pleasure to speak to young Kobe Hudson.
Yes, very well spoken indeed. Both on and off track.
Oh, yes.
He's an outstanding young athlete.
And look,
so
this young man is on time all the time.
Yes, he's doing an excellent job.
He's more punctual than the Postal Service, Ian.
Yes, he is. So as we look at the first section of the under 15 boys, running out of lane 1. No, Perry. Now here we have him running out of lane 1, but
Here it's
gonna be
changed.
different. It's
Right,
gonna be a
so we
different
have in lane
scenario, so
number
we'll
1,
have to
Amir
revisit this,
Gustav,
yes.
Parkinson Memorial. In lane 2, Christopher Quinton, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 3, Kobe Hudson, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 4, Dominic Jordan, Harrison College. In lane 5, Jamari Ben, the Ellerslie School. In lane 6, Aiden Ogis, Allen School. We saw him earlier. In lane 7, Kedrian Crick, Commonwealth School. And in lane number 8, Corey Reed, St. George Secondary. All eyes will be on lane number 3, Kobe Hudson. The record they're chasing, the zonal record, 54.12 seconds. And the BSSAC record, 49.95 seconds.
So, let's
There
see
they go.
how they go.
And as expected, Kobe Hudson making up the stagger already. Kobe Hudson is really going out there. On the outside, the athlete from Commonwealth and Ellerslie and Allen School, running well. Kobe Hudson now coming up the back stretch. He's a clear leader. And as they hit the 200-meter mark, Ian, we're going to see what happens here. Kobe Hudson, and he's going to start to accelerate some more. So it's going to be Kobe Hudson now running away from the field, slamming the field in this first of 2 sections. It's going to be interesting to see the time. It looks like the pace looks fast enough to be a record, but we're going to wait and see. Kobe Hudson coming down the home stretch all alone. There's no one there with him. He's just striding away up nice and tall as Kobe Hudson runs through the line right about now, winning the first section. Ben from Ellerslie is second. That's Ogis of Allen School, and Ben is third. Correct. That's correct.
So, Perry, we've gotten some official results for the 100 meters. I can share them with you.
Yes, please do.
If you're ready, in terms of the qualifiers.
Try to get the records and see if the.
Let's see. Among the under 17 boys, 8th was Omri Edwards, a time of 11.77 seconds. In 7th was Jason Bess of St. George Secondary, 11.70 seconds. 6th, Khalil Roberts, Harrison College, 11.67 seconds. In 5th, Brandon Watson, Harrison College, 11.57 seconds. In 4th, Jean-Pierre Hangs, a time of 11.55 seconds. And the top 3 finishers among the under 17 boys, Saviola Thomas, Christchurch Foundation, 11.54 seconds. In 2nd was Daquan Clark of Ellerslie, a time of 11.45 seconds. And in 1st place, Mikhail Carvalho of Commonwealth School, 11.40 seconds, winning the under 17 boys 100 meters dash. As we get ready though for the 2nd section of the 400 meters for under 15 boys. The young men are already on the track. I had the opportunity to refresh, so we have the up-to-date listing now.
Well
Perry.
done, Ian.
In lane 1, Rashad Worrell, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 2, Shadeen Phillips, the Ellerslie School. Lane 3, Kyle Garnett, Christchurch Foundation. In lane 4, that looks like Yazid Daniel of Harrison College. In lane 5, Trey Bedford of the Allen School. In lane 6, Jamarco Gill of St. George Secondary. And in lane 7, Ramiro Dates of the Combermere School, rounding out the field in the 2nd section of the under 15 boys 400 meters. And they make their way around the track already.
Nice
Making some
start.
good running. Was that Combermere, Perry?
It looks like the athlete
Christchurch
from Christchurch
Foundation.
Foundation, Kyle Garrett. On the outside, though, Jamarco Gill running well.
Rashad Worrell doesn't look too bad either. He's at about 2nd from the back now, but he doesn't look bad. Let's see how he goes around these last 150 meters or so. The clear lead at this point in time, Perry, has got to be Jamarco Gill. Let's see what's happening. I'm seeing young Worrell on the inside. Let's see. Gill is leading. Worrell is challenging. You're seeing a challenge as well from Aline. Okay, in lane 5. So it's Gill first, Aline second, Bedford, And then coming in third, Rashad Worrell of St. Leonard's boys. Those are the top 3 finishers in the second section of the under 15 boys. Your men seem to put all on the track. They gassed, Barry.
Yes. That's we have to leave it on the track, Ian, on the track. Put it all out on the track and see what happens. I'm looking here. Only one record broken there in the under 17 boys, 100 meters. The old record, I had it here just now when
I'm sure you'll find it, Perry.
Of course.
While the big girls get ready to have their turn and set up their blocks and everything, let me just bring a little bit of perspective to the under 20 girls in terms of their 100 meters. In 8th was Nakara Hunt, Christchurch. No, that's not Christchurch Foundation. That's Commermere School. Nakara Hunt of Commermere School, 13.54 seconds. In 7th, Janaya Drakes of Harrison College, 13.46. In 6th is Tiana Rouse of Christchurch Foundation, 13.46 as well. 5th, Afrakabino Forb of Harrison College, 13.33. In 4th was Marissa Watts of Springer Memorial, 12.99. 3rd went to Sierra Coward of Springer Memorial, 12.94. 2nd place went to Shemaya O'Dane of Aline, 12.55. And 1st was Hannah Connell, a time of 12.17 seconds.
Yes, and I have it here, Ian, officially. The under 17 boys record stood at... No, actually, the record wasn't broken. It looked like it was broken, but Carvalho fell short. So no record broken in the 100 meters sprints today. This year, the records remain safe for another year, Ian. No bullseye on the backs of them. No, they missed the target. Some of them came fairly close. What I found very disturbing, though, for me as a coach, Ian, is the fact that Hannah Connell ran slower this year than she ran last year. Maybe she would have gone through some issues before, but last year she ran 11:98, and this year she would have run 12:17. That is not good at all.
Well, certainly something for Hannah herself and certainly the coaching staff to pay attention to. What could have been the variables responsible, Perry?
Well, a lot of things could come into play. It could come down to fitness, injuries. It comes down to the training. If she would have been training consistently over in the outer season and coming into this track and field season, so a lot of variables comes into it, on the conditions as well. So, but these are lovely conditions. So I'm not sure, but we have to, I guess, leave it up to her and her coaches coaches to sort that out. Maybe she is holding back some for the big finals. We don't know, but it's always good to try to best yourself at your zone meet.
Well, we see how she goes forward towards the finals, the 15th and 16th of this month. We have those to look forward to. So now we are here at the zone meets today and tomorrow. We will have the Saul Esther Maynard zone, the Frank Blackman zone, not sponsored, so we just refer to that as the Frank Blackman zone. And of course, that will be run off on Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
Lots of athletics to look forward to, lots of keen competition. But the young ladies for the under 17 first section, the under 17 400 meter dash, they are already on the track, making their way on at the moment.
Yes, they would have set their blocks and been ushered off, and now they're being ushered back on.
based on what I'm seeing here, Perry, we should have Janelle Reed.
Let's call from lane 6 and come in, Ian.
Well, I'm seeing that that's what the
Yes, that's
stadium announcer is doing.
so our cameras can pick it up as well.
Jamisa Stanford, representing the St. George Secondary School. She's in lane 6. Deandra Foster in lane 5, Springer Memorial. In the lane 4 is Shonika Griffith, Graydon Seeley. In lane 3, Abigail Mears, Ann Hill School. In lane 2, Kayla Cummins, Christchurch Foundation. And in lane 1, Janelle Reed of Parkinson Memorial.
Kyla Cummins is one to watch in there. She has been coming along fairly nicely. I know she's training very hard with her coach, Mr. Leo Garns, and Mr. Rodney Ford. They have been doing some good work. So we are going to see if all that hard work and training has paid off for her. We don't have the records. I think our runner has gone to lunch. I see him over there. Right? Much deserved lunch break.
Should also factor in this one, Perry.
That's from Springer Memorial, yes.
Springer Memorial. She has been performing incredibly this season. But I know Kyla Cummins is going to prove a challenge here for her. Let's see how they go though. St. George has also had some good offerings, so they're not to be left out of the loop.
And there they go. Kyla Cummins, as expected, making it with stagger. We see the athlete from Springer, as you called it, and Deandra Foster running well on the outside. So Cummins, Foster, we see the young lady from Ann Hill, Abigail Mears. She's running very well as well, going up the back stretch. I'm impressed. And they hit the 200-meter mark right about now. Still Springer Memorial, Deandra Foster. Cummins now trying to stride out at her. The Ann Hill athlete now fading. So the run is going to go between these two, and Cummins coming off the bend better. She's now in the lead. A lot of work on the form coming. As you get tired, you start to lose form. You just have to keep moving those arms, and the legs will go with it. So we're going to see if she can hold on, because she's leading now from Deandra Foster.
Kyla Cummins.
So it's going to be Cummins from Foster, from the athlete from Springer Memorial.
No, that's Parkinson.
From Parkinson, sorry, Janelle Reed. And then Graydon Seeley, Shonika Griffith.
From St. George now crossing the lane.
And here comes the Ann Hill athlete crossing the line as well. This is Abigail Mears. Good run from her. She looked very good in the first 200 meters of the race. Very, very good in the first 200 meters of the race.
You were impressed.
I was impressed. I was very impressed.
So was I.
And I think the spectators were impressed as well, because we had a lot of cheering for her when she started to make that surge up the back stretch. Everyone started to cheer for her. And it's good to see the spectators encouraging everyone.
What I'm impressed by as well is the presence of a number of these private schools who have been factoring here today. We've seen Ursula Convent, we've seen Ann Hill. So that's a good look.
Yes, I like to see these schools getting involved. It argues well for inter-school sports in general, Ian. I don't know why people try to make an excuse as to why these kids can't come out and why these kids can't participate. I think they're just as good, and they can compete just as well, as fiercely as the others.
Well, as we move ahead to the second section, young ladies setting their blocks. Of course, these blocks are mandatory at this stage. So they're going to organize themselves in terms of the blocks and go off the track.
Let me peruse this start list here. Ian, see who jumps out at us.
Let's see.
I'm
not seeing any familiar names here.
Kristen Otto, maybe. I don't know. I may have seen her competing sometime before.
I know Kezia Harris, obviously, because she's from Spring Memorial, didn't get a chance. Rashana Padmore as well, from Christchurch Foundation.
We saw her.
We've seen her. So Let's see how they go.
So as they've just finished setting the blocks and they're being ushered back out.
Of course, this is the second section of the under 17 girls, 400 meters.
Okay, and we will see they're getting their hip numbers so that the different cameras, the hip numbers, the chest numbers, so that the different cameras can identify them as they cross the line.
And as they get that sorted, seeing some activity over in the high jump area.
So we have the lane assignments. We have lane 7 from the Commonwealth School, Jody Smith Padmore. And lane 6, Addis Ward, Ellerslie School. And lane 5, Kristen Odell, Harrison College. And lane number 4, Kezia Harris, Springer Memorial. And lane number 3, Maya Rowe, St. George Secondary. And lane 2, from Christchurch Foundation, we have Rashona Padmore. And in lane number 1, from Parkinson Memorial, Sarah Lawrence. And then once again, they're chasing the record of 2:59:20 set in 2017 by Shemaya O'Dane of the Arlene School. And the BSAC record is 54:91 set by Mara Weeks of the Law School way back in 2007.
Just awaiting instructions from the starter now, Perry.
Yes, they're on the starter's orders.
Yes, they're on the starter's orders now. Lawrence, Padmore, Rowe, Harris, Odell, Ward, and Padmore. Smith Padmore, that is.
And there they go. The pace is a little slow on the inside of the track. But in the middle of the field, we see the athlete from Christchurch Foundation, Rashona Padmore, going up nicely in lane number 2 on the outside, flying up the back stretch. We see the athlete that's from Commonwealth School, Jody Smith Padmore, and she has to go like that. Parkinson Memorial, Sarah Lawrence. She had the luxury of seeing everyone in front of her. As they hit the 200-meter mark right about now, it looks like Kristen Odell of Harrison. No, that's not Odell of Harrison College.
That's Rashona Padmore, I think.
Padmore on the outside, but inside, Christchurch Foundation and Parkinson Memorial, it looks like, doing battle up front. That's Rashona Padmore and Sarah Lawrence as they come off the top bend and come down the home stretch. We have a race on. Who wants it will get it. These two lasses are going stride for stride. That's Padmore and Lawrence. Padmore and Lawrence. Rashona Padmore now is going to edge out Lawrence on the line, and third place goes to
Kezia Harris of Springer Memorial.
Yes, Kezia Harris of Springer Memorial. And that's how they finish in the second and final time final. And once again, we keep stressing that's a time final. For those of you who've now come in and aren't sure, time finals, you have to beat the clock basically. You can win your heat, but still don't get on the podium based on how fast you run.
We've certainly seen that a little earlier with, I think, Shemaya O'Dane. She would have won her heat, but she came second overall in terms of the under-20 girls. They didn't get a chance, Perry, to give you any information in terms of the under-20 boys and how they would have finished in terms of the top 8. In 8th, we had Kobaya Hamlin of the Commonwealth School, a time of 11.71. 7th was Cody Hamilton of Graydon Sealy, 11.65. In 6th was Khalid Carter of the Commonwealth School, 11.60. Seconds, looking at 5th place, looks like Tristan Harper of, what school is that, Perry? Parkinson, okay, PA. A little confusing. His time was 11.59. Moving on, in the top 4. Leandre Walker was in 4th of Ali in a time of 11.57 seconds. 3rd was Josiah Atkins of Christchurch Foundation, 11.49. In 2nd place was Laquan Trotman of Christchurch Foundation, a time of 11.33 seconds. And winning the under 20 boys was Julian Ford in a time of 11.26 seconds. Of course, he represents Harrison College. Those being the top 8 finishers in the 100
We have
meters.
results. We have
You have
results for
results,
the under 15 boys 400 meters. Top 8. Ramiro Dates, Commerce School. 7th, Jamari Ben Ellerslie. In 6th position, Yazzie Daniel Harrison College. And then in 5th position, from St. Leonard's boys, Rashad Worrell. In 4th, Aiden Auguste, Allen School, the top 3. 3rd position, Trey Bedford, Allen School, 56.36 seconds. 2nd position, Jamarco Gill, the St. George Secondary, 55.60. And really slamming the field, running a blistering 53.73 seconds. Kobe Hudson.
Now, what's the record?
I will have to go back into my files, Ian. I have my,
Please do.
I have my book, my bag here.
Let's see if Kobe Hudson was able to erase the old mark and establish a new one.
Well, we will look for that record. We have the under
17
boys on the line. So, Ian, you can give the lane assignments.
In lane 8, Henri Edwards, the Ellerslie School. In lane 7, Keelan Clark, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 6, looks like Jeffrey Mapp of Graydon Sealy. And in lane 5, Michael Yearwood, Combermere School. In lane 4, Aquan Waith of Christchurch Foundation. In lane 3, Nikolai Payne of the Allen School. In lane 2, we have Aaron Spencer of Harrison College. And in lane 1, Jason Best of the St. George Secondary School.
And Ian, before that race starts, I can confirm that the new record holder for the in the under 15 boys 400 meters is none other than Mr. Kobe Hudson. The old record 54.12 seconds, new record 53.73. So congratulations to him.
So we've had 7 for the morning.
And counting.
And counting. So it looks like 41 more records left to be broken. We had a total of 48 individual records being broken last year, as you would have heard from Michael Jules. And we've already seen 7 records being broken here today.
And as we would have discussed, records will be broken
Certainly.
incrementally throughout the years. And there they go, off and running. Under 17 boys.
The early running being done on the inside. Lot seems to be jostling for position there between the Allen School and the young lad from Harrison College.
Aaron Spencer. He
and
looks
then
very
Nicolai Payne.
comfortable.
Yeah. I make it Spencer at this point to be in the lead, looking very comfortable indeed as he approaches the 200-meter mark,
But
Perry.
look at
But
Edwards
on
from
the outside-
Ellerslie.
On the outside, Henri Edwards, he's certainly taken this race to the field, but back on the inside, Perry. Aaron Spencer in lane 2. He's taken control now with just about, 50, 60 meters left in this race. And is he going to get a challenge from the inside? Is he going to get a challenge from the outside? It's going to be, he's going to, the young man from Ellerslie, Edwards, is going to take it on the line.
Ease up.
Yeah.
Spencer eased up on
Spencer
the
eased
line
up.
and
Edwards would have gotten the better of him on the line. But we'll await the official result, Perry, and we talked about that all morning.
Run through the line, Ian. Run through the line. What's so hard about that to understand? Run through the line.
So Aaron Spencer giving way to Henri Edwards of Ellerslie on the line.
And Henri Edwards saying, "Thank you very much, sir."
Graciously accepting
I
that
thank
which he was given.
I thank you so much for letting me win this one. Thank you so much, sir. As some people say, your mistake is my beef steak.
Okay then. I like that, Perry. I'm a steak man myself. I like my steak medium well. As we look forward to this second section, we'll see how this section goes, if they'll be able to travel a little faster than the first section. Young men now setting up their blocks. We'll give you those lane assignments shortly.
Ooh.
Any more 400-meter results, Barry?
Not as yet. We're awaiting the under 17 girls and boys, but obviously we will get them at the conclusion of these.
So while we wait on the athletes to sort themselves out in terms of blocks and so on, we want to let our viewership know that you can win with Sports.bb. There are rewards for your viewership. Once you are tuned in, let me let you know how you can win. You must like the Sports.bb fan page on Facebook, of course. You must also like Pharmacy Sales Caribbean Inc. Facebook page. And you've got a hashtag Bryden Stokes, hashtag Flawless Gym, that's FLAWLESSGYM, Flawless Gym, and you must answer the question correctly. We're going to have, as our prizes, we're going to have the Fan Zone t-shirts, we're going to have hampers, compliments, of course, Pharmacy Sales Caribbean, and we have a 1-week pass to Flawless Gym. So those of you who are looking forward to crop over and you want to get your gym bodies organized, you can do that at Flawless. And of course, you have to do it through Sports.bb. Make sure you get on the Facebook page and like us. Now, the question is that you're asked to name 6 schools. We only want 6. There are more than 6, but we just want you to name 6 schools in the Saul Esther Maynard zone. And if you're able to do that, then you could be in winner's row. Of course, the giveaways, they're going to end on Monday, the 12th of March, 2018 at midnight. So the winner will be announced at a later date. So get involved in the action. And please, you have to make sure that you send your answer via our inbox. Send the answer to our inbox. That's where we want you to answer, not on the comment section below where you're viewing this stream, but go over to Facebook and send us a message in our inbox. Lane assignments, Perry, for the second section of the under 17 boys. What do we have?
We have in lane number 8, Matthew King of Harrison College. In lane 7, Combermere School's Shaquan Haynes. In lane number 6, Natari Sargent from St. George Secondary. In lane number 5, Dimitri Archer, St. Leonard's Boys. In lane 4, Akil Howell, Allen School. In lane 3, Sashin Cox, Christchurch Foundation. In lane number 2, Jamie Lawson, Parkinson Memorial. And in lane number 1, Miguel Nicholas, the Ellerslie School. And they're chasing a record 49.99 set by Raheem Tate Best in 2017. That was a zonal record. The BSAC record still stands at 48 seconds flat, set by Willan Louis in 1999. Whoa.
Well, it's a 19-year-old record, Perry. My last year in secondary school. No, actually, I remember being at the National Stadium for that meet. That was not my last year. It was probably my penultimate year in school.
It was a big run.
1999 by Willan Louis.
48 seconds flat. That's a lot of running.
Yeah.
For a 16-year-old.
A lot indeed. Tremendous potential. It's Willan Louis. This was his event. But on the line right now, Nichols, Jamie Cox, Howell Archer, Sergeant Haynes, and King.
Oh, yes. And in the middle there, we see the St. Leonard's boy, Dimitri Archer, looking nice. And inside of him, Allen School's Akil Howell now starts to open up. So Allen and St. Leonard's, they're the 2 front runners right now. St. Leonard's boys.
Now, Perry, these young men are really traveling here.
Oh, yes. Dimitri Archer and Akil Howell of the Allen School. They come to 150 meters, and Akil Howell says bye-bye and starts to step out. Akil Howell is going. As he comes off the bend, it's all Akil Howell right now. On the inside, the lad from Ellerslie School, Miguel Nicholas is there second. But Howell, can Nicholas catch him? Akil Howell is going to be the unofficial winner right now, crossing the line. Good run from him. A wonderful run from Miguel Nicholas as well on the inside. The lad from Selena's boys, Dimitri Archer, valiant effort from him for the first maybe 200, 300 meters, but it was all over from 150 meters out from the finish line. Akil Howell slamming the field, kicking from 150 meters and just leaving them for dead. So it's going to be interesting to see the time. I'm going to keep
good run from him.
I'm going to keep my record sheet here
And
so that I can tell you.
The under 20 boys coming out.
Oh,
I'm seeing them coming from under the
yes,
tunnel.
we see
I'm
Delano
seeing
Wickham.
Wickham
We
is in
see
there.
Jonathan Jones.
He's in the mix. That under 20 boys is going to be a
Raheem
hot one.
Tate Best.
Yep.
Oh my.
Something to look forward to, Perry.
We also want to give a special shout out while we can to the class G5 of Guiding Light Elementary. They're in Antigua and Barbuda. Their teacher, Mrs. Dawn Brown, out there as well. Thank you for logging on, and we encourage all of our viewers. Please don't be stingy with the link. Spread it, share it with